Good morning or afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Jeana Holt. I am an assistant professor at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and we'll be presenting first. Katie, do you want to do a brief introduction?
Sure, thank you. I'm Dr. Katie Pavek, and I'm a clinical assistant professor at UW-Madison School of Nursing, and I'll present second today.
All right, let me try the screen sharing here. So I said, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. So both Katie and I are going to present wellness on a shoestring budget. So how to incorporate wellness in your school or college of nursing with little or no funding. So back in 2001, we had what we called at UWM College of Nursing was a climate committee. And they started with volunteer members who created and executed what we called feel-good events. However, within 5 years, the committee was suffering from a little bit of fatigue, as it was the same volunteers that were putting on events over and over again. And so what they did is they actually put a proposal forth to the dean, and they decided to start the Working Well initiative. And the intention was to restructure the committee. The dean appointed a task force to operationalize the proposal. And a year was spent on developing the Working Well initiative model. And you can actually see the figure of the model here on the screen. And processes were vetted for the proposal. And the idea was that we created College of Nursing champions. And you can kind of see part of the sun air champion activities. So in order to maintain a positive morale, to maintain a sense of inclusion, the idea is to create champions. So people who have a passion for putting on an activity would be in charge of that activity. And that model and that process continues today. So for over 21 years then, we have used this champion model. And what I'm going to do over the next slides is to just share some of the activities that our respective students, faculty, and staff have championed, and hopefully you'll get some ideas to be able to champion or include in your school or college of nursing. So again, the idea is to foster a positive morale and a sense of inclusivity within our College of Nursing. And the Working Well Initiative Committee now serves as a clearinghouse for planning, prioritizing, implementing, and evaluating wellness activities. We have a very, very low budget model, so we get less than $200 of funding per year. And it's really the champion that's sharing their passions and leading the activities for our students, staff, and faculty. So some of these, hopefully, I'll be familiar to you and things that are already in place in your organizations, and some might spark some new ideas. So similar to this Wellness Wednesday webinar, we have Wellness Wednesday emails. When the weather is lovely, as it can be in the fall and the summer and the spring, we also have Wellness Wednesday lunch hour walks. And so we will meet at a designed place just outside our building, and people who are available will go for a walk on Wednesdays. We also had a member of our Working Well Initiative Committee who was one of our instructional designers. And that person used our learning management system, which is Canvas, to create a College of Nursing wellness site or wellness portal. And you can see on the left of your screen the different kind of buttons or options. So be active, be mindful. And on the right, I am sharing a screenshot of Yoga with Allison. Allison is one of our faculty and staff members, and she has recorded videos of yoga that you can do in your office, at home, as you see, chair yoga, etc. So it's built into our learning management system and has the ability to kind of include more activities as people have ideas. We've also, over my 10 years that I've been here at UWM, have changed our faculty and staff meeting times. So at first, we had our faculty staff meeting at the end of the day, and then we would conclude, for anybody who is interested, a wine and cheese social after faculty and staff meetings, just as a way to network, to build community and inclusivity. Now, our faculty and staff meetings are in the morning, so it's more conducive to meeting beforehand and sharing a cup of coffee or tea with your colleagues. An activity that's geared towards students are final exam snacks and pet therapy. So we have healthy snacks that are available to students in a high traffic area in the building. So granola bars, fruit, typically it's more like apples, oranges, bananas, that they can grab, when they're going into an exam or when they're leaving an exam. And then one of our staff members, beautiful puppy, is a pet therapy dog. And so she will often bring in Gabby, and Gabby will be available right in the entryway for students to spend some time and receive some pet therapy, again, before or after their final exams. We've also had recess at work activities. Things like hip hop abs, again, over the lunch hour. We've have a connection with a school of massage, and they would come in and do chair massages for faculty. And we also have a meditation corner that's in our faculty and staff lounge. We've also recognized faculty and staff birthdays at our faculty and staff meetings, a way to celebrate those who are celebrating a new milestone every single month. A really innovative one that we have, these are actually two pictures from one. You can see our stairwell, and then you can see a close-up picture of the poster. And one of our champions decided to implement forest bathing, a movement that started in the 1980s by a group of Japanese urban citizens and is now recognized as a relaxation and stress management activity in Japan. So with this worldwide interest spread over the last couple of years, we decided that sometimes our fair city of Milwaukee, winter keeps us indoors. So what would it be like to have a virtual forest bathing experience within our stairwells? And so we would have certain times that music would be playing, that actually it would be some aromatherapy happening in the stairwells. And you could, again, listen to music, encourage people to walk the stairwells, maybe only one flight if that was what was available to you at the time, or have meetings in the stairwells. Really just kind of an innovative way to kind of bring those areas to life. Furthermore, in the stairwells, we would have different haiku, and we still do have different haiku passages that are against the walls, and different stretching that you could do. So as you go up a flight of stairs, you could take a break, do some torso stretches. As I said, every flight of stairs had different haiku poetry available, and then different stretching to spark ideas. Wellness and competition, maybe you don't think about them going hand in hand, but we would have friendly competition between the different floors in our building. And we would do a College of Nursing chili cook-off every single year. The funds then were raised to go to different student-based activities. So you would be able to buy a bowl of chili and then vote for your favorite. And of course, have the pride then if it was your floor that won the competition that year. Similarly, we would have other meals depending on different holidays. So most recently, St. Patrick's Day lunch. Again, as you can see, it's being championed by the Working Well Committee. Again, another way to kind of connect with colleagues. For many, many years, also, we've had our Thanksgiving potluck. You can see our sign up here. People would bring as much or little as they can. And then if they don't feel like cooking or don't have the time, you could always bring a donation and partake in the meal. As we're wrapping up, we also have had holiday boutiques where we would bring in area artisans, and they would sell their wares, and we would raise money for our study abroad programs for our students. So just wanted to share with you, as I said, some of the activities that we've done with a shoestring budget. Really, the leadership and the membership of our Working Well Initiative Committee has changed over time. But because we've embedded this champion model, it's really just taking the energy of people, what activities they would like to champion. And we've been able to sustain that infrastructure now for over 21 years. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to take a minute here to get my screen ready. All right, hopefully you can all see that. Dr. Holt did a really wonderful job highlighting how her College of Nursing has developed a positive work environment through their Working Well initiative. And I'm going to drill down just a little bit and talk about one aspect of wellness, gratitude, and highlight how we at UW-Madison School of Nursing have used gratitude to support wellness in our community and how we've done that with limited funding. So to make sure we're all on the same page to start, gratitude is defined as the quality of being thankful. It's readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. And it's a way to really help overcome negative thoughts, to appreciate that present moment, and to recognize the positive things that we all have in our lives. Gratitude is a way for us to really appreciate what we have instead of focusing on always reaching for something new in the hopes that it's going to make us happier. So thinking that we'll never be satisfied until we have every physical and material need met. Gratitude helps us refocus on what we actually have instead of what we lack. And although it might feel a little bit awkward or even contrived at first, this mental state does grow stronger and stronger with use and with practice. So a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Leanne Walmsley from the University of Kentucky presented on the science of gratitude. And I didn't know she was going to present on that, but it's set up my presentation very well today. So if you want more knowledge on the science of gratitude, I'd encourage you to look at her presentation. In that presentation, she did discuss how neurons that fire together wire together, and that you strengthen the brain's neural circuits for gratitude, which does make it easier to focus on feelings of gratitude. The evidence is definitely there, and it's indisputable. Practicing gratitude buffers against negative states and emotions, can lower blood pressure, improve immune function, increase our happiness and improve our relationships, improve cardiovascular health, and reduce the lifetime risk for depression, anxiety, and even substance abuse disorders. So I'm going to walk through a few concrete examples of how you can work to build gratitude in your personal life and in your larger community, whether that's personal or professional. I do want to point out, though, that many of these examples can be used in one or more facets of your life. So where and how you work to cultivate more gratitude in your life is not rigid. These are simply suggestions for you to use going forward and just really do what works best for you. So we'll start with individual, and I'm going to cover 4 different ways that you can cultivate gratitude. The first way is by saying thank you. So there's a lot of power behind writing a thank you note. It's been shown to have a strong psychological effect for not just the sender, but also for the receiver, and it helps nurture that relationship between 2 people. So take some time when you're writing those thank you notes to really tell somebody what you appreciate about them or the impact that they've had on your personal life. And really be specific whenever possible. Those concrete examples, those specific examples really bring more meaning to that thank you note. A gratitude journal is another way, and this can be used to reflect on the things in your life that you're grateful for. It helps you take that time to appreciate positive things or moments that you maybe wouldn't have even thought about if you didn't take that intentional time to reflect. So try writing about 3 items that you're grateful for, ideally at the end of the day, so you can think back to your day and what has happened. And challenge yourself to really vary the types of things you write about. If you find yourself kind of always writing about the same things, oftentimes we gravitate towards things like our family, friendships, health, maybe our jobs. I'd ask you to challenge yourself to identify more subtle things in your life that you're grateful for as well. If you're having a day that's particularly stressful, you're feeling down, the weather is just not helping your mood, you might want to read over your journal entries and take some time to look back and think about everything you do have to be grateful for and give yourself that positive boost. Beyond writing about what you're grateful for in your journal, I would also challenge you to take it a step further and tell the people in your life how much you appreciate them. Everyone likes to hear that they're appreciated and valued, and oftentimes we think these things about individuals in our life, but we're not always vocalizing them or sharing our appreciation with others. So I'd encourage you to take that next step. When you're sitting down to journal, a couple different prompts that kind of help me get started. One thing you can think about are 3 great things that happened to you today. So be specific in that time frame, the last 24 hours. Another approach is to think about qualities that you love about yourself. And that one tends to be a little bit harder. Oftentimes we're geared toward giving gratitude to toward others, thinking about external sources of gratitude, it's a little more challenging to look inside oneself and think about what we're grateful for ourselves. So see if you can do that as well. The last piece of gratitude journaling is include the why. So this does not need to be a long journal entry, but beyond just listing 3 things, take time to reflect on why you're grateful for them and take a minute to write that down as well. So this picture here is an example of what I've used in some of the courses that I've taught with my students. And when I teach students about stress and coping, I always integrate actionable steps that students can use in their daily lives. And coloring is one of those. Coloring has the ability to really help you relax. It takes your attention away from things that might be causing you stress and brings your attention and focus into the present moment. And this generates mindfulness and quietness. It gives your mind a chance to get some rest. And art therapy has been used for many, many years. So this is nothing new. It's been shown to have a lot of success and has been linked to significantly decreased symptoms of physical distress, emotional distress, and anxiety. So try coloring something that includes a positive phrase or image, such as the one here on the screen, "You are enough." We are so fortunate to have the Center for Healthy Minds at UW-Madison, and it was founded by the world-renowned neuroscientist, Dr. Richard Davidson. And their mission at the Center for Healthy Minds is to cultivate well-being and relieve suffering through a scientific understanding of the mind. And this is a wonderful resource that I'm very excited to share with you all today, and I'd highly encourage you to check it out. There's lots of information, including different scientific innovations, programs, publications, tools that you can use, events that you can attend, and even opportunities to engage in research. In addition to these resources, they also offer a free app, which is called the Healthy Minds app. And this is a screenshot from their website of the Healthy Minds app, and the link is there for you to use as well. And the groundbreaking Healthy Minds program uses neuroscience, contemplative traditions, and skill-based learning methods to help each individual really develop skills for a healthy mind. So they translate neuroscience into tools for everyday life that we can use as users as we work to understand and integrate the 4 pillars of science of training the mind. And those 4 pillars include awareness, insight, connection, and purpose. And they use podcast style lessons. They use seated and active meditations. And you can learn about what science says about your brain while really developing those skills to make a healthier and happier you. The best part of all of this is that it's free. And I wanted to share it here today so you can all access this great resource. As many of you know, mindfulness is defined as awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. And I quote Jon Kabat-Zinn on that definition, who is the founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction. And the Healthy Minds app offers a variety of areas of focus for their meditations. And I've included just a few examples here on the screen that focus on gratitude. Here's a screenshot of that app so you can get a better idea of what you might be seeing if you take the opportunity to download the app. And the app includes, like I said, 4 pillars of the science of training the mind. And within the pillar of connection, you can learn more about cultivating gratitude and how we can train our minds to notice the positive in, which is important, right? That gratitude internally, and the positive around us, that external gratitude. And this can lead to a deeper sense of appreciation and well-being. You can see here on the screen that there's practices. And if you click into a practice, you have the opportunity to really tailor it. And I think this is a really great feature of the app. So you can determine if you want your meditation to be active or seated. You can choose your speaker. So different voices work for different people. And the duration. So if you only have 5 minutes to give, then you can edit that to 5 minutes. If you want to sit for a 30-minute meditation, you can do that as well. So tailoring it is a really great feature. There's also learning lessons built in, so you can learn and practice and go back and forth as you work to cultivate that gratitude. Now we'll move on to some examples of how you can cultivate gratitude in your community. So we have our Nursing Learning Center at UW-Madison School of Nursing, and they host regular wellness activities. In February, they hosted Gratitude Heart Chains, and this is where students and faculty could take a moment to just reflect and write something down that they're grateful for on a piece of paper, and then they linked all of those into a paper chain. It was a great visual and a great moment for people just to take time to reflect. We also use Kudo boards and gratitude walls, and this is an example of a Kudo boards that we've used, and we often use them at points of professional transitions or retirement. And I linked 2 different resources here on the screen as well that you can use. But it's just a great opportunity to tell people that we work with every day why we're grateful for them, our wishes for them for the future, things they've done that have impacted us personally and professionally. And so I think I can't imagine to be on the receiving end, but even as somebody participating and seeing the gratitude that everybody has in our community for each other, it's really a meaningful experience and way to use your time. And then this is an example of gratitude wall. So in fall, faculty and staff took time to share what or who we're grateful for by engaging in this virtual Kudo board. And this can also easily be done in other formats. So if using an online platform isn't for you, you can easily use sticky notes and stick them to a blank wall in your space. You can use a large whiteboard and make markers available, and people can jot down their thoughts or ideas. So lots of different ways that you can make this work for different audiences. And lastly, I want to highlight one more resource, and this is the Down Dog app, and it's linked here on your screen as well. And Down Dog is an app that offers yoga, HIIT, meditation, running, bar, and prenatal yoga. So I'm just highlighting yoga, but it offers a lot more. And I'm sharing this today because the company recently stated that stressful times like the COVID-19 pandemic are precisely when people need wellness practices the most. And I firmly believe that statement to be true. And so they want to do their part to help out. And if you don't know yet, they're now offering this app and all of their apps free to students and teachers, anybody with a .edu email address, free indefinitely. And I think that's just wonderful. So I'm trying to get the word out as another resource that we can access. Gratitude and yoga easily go hand in hand. Yoga with Adrienne's also a nice option, and that's on YouTube, and I linked one here. And to further cultivate a sense of community at the School of Nursing as we're working to build our culture of wellness, we're holding a spring wellness series here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to be offering yoga and meditation as a couple of our daily practices. So bringing it to our larger community of faculty, staff, and students. So that concludes my presentation for today. And I hope that I've left you with a better understanding of not only how gratitude can really improve your overall well-being, but I hope you also feel that you have tangible ideas and resources that you can use as you work to take those next steps to build more gratitude and cultivate more gratitude in your life. I'm genuinely grateful that you took time to join us today, and I wish you all well.
Katie and Jeana, thank you so much for that fabulous presentation. And I think you gave beautiful exemplars of how you can create a culture on a shoestring budget. Wonderful, really. Katie, I'm interested in knowing, has there been a lot of studies behind the Healthy Minds app, specifically with college students, faculty, and staff?
That's a great question, Vern. Thank you for that. Yeah, they're always putting out research. I almost can't keep up with their website and everything they're doing. So I know they are conducting research and studies have been done. I can't speak to outcomes specifically, but that's something I can pull in as well for additional resources. That's one thing that I really appreciate about the Center for Healthy Minds is they're generating new knowledge, but always testing it and making sure it's evidence-based. So I always feel good about sending people there because I know it's rooted in evidence and rooted in science.
That's great. And it's wonderful the app is free. So I'm going to download it today and try it out. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other questions from anybody? If not, thank you all for joining us for another Wellness Wednesday. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Please don't forget to complete the survey. And by all means, take some time today for your own well-being. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Jeana and Katie. Great job.
Thank you.